Did you ever meet Tony's Uncle John and Auntie Mary?
Yes, I met Tony's Uncle John and Auntie Mary on numerous occasions, including our Saturday morning bacon butty off Auntie Mary. Yeah.
That before you went work or something?
Went to match.
Alright.
We used to go along.
Right.
She was lovely.
I'll leave it going because it's not so
Okay.
long. It says talk about Tony and Patsy. Did you know them together when they were teenagers?
Oh God,
like?
yeah.
Friday night and
Tony and Patsy, yeah. Patsy was a little bit more wilder than Tony. She was a lot younger as well, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And she ended up in Tillson's as well.
Yeah,
Patsy,
she did.
Yeah.
She was in the tube.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think a few times we accidentally bumped into her in town, and Tony would be chasing her back home because I think she was only about 15.
14.
14 or 15, yeah.
It's talk about Liverpool in the 60s.
Oh, Jesus.
Was that your...
Liverpool in the 60s, yeah, we used to go for aperitifs. From what little pennies we had, because we were extremely poor in the print trade in the early days. It was years when the men were paid less than the women, believe it or not. And that's a contradiction in terms. We'd either walk into town to save 2 or 3 pennies, or jump the bus. And our Wharton Hall was the number 10 pub in Rose Street. That was the good old days, and we used to have halves of mild or halves of bitter, which was 6pence.
and he's put talk about working together in the printing company. You serve your time together or something?
Well, it was more like a prison sentence. I don't know about serving your time. We worked on what we call the knocking out at the time. Women were
Women
women and men were terrified of them. Muscle bound women used to knock the cartons out and throw the waste on the floor, and Tony and myself and the lads used to kick it all down into the waste, into the chutes. So we were basically
push-it-ups.
yeah, we glorified push-it-ups, and the women who'd done all the work and earned the money. That's where we met from there and established the fact that we're all Evertonians together. Yeah.
Very good. Where did you drink on a Friday night?
That was the
Friday night, after work, we generally meet somewhere and have the odd pint or two. One occasion that sticks out more than anything else. We'd met outside Tillson's at a pub called the Reading or the Reading, and we gone on into town. Me and Tony had a full total of 3 halves a mile each. Jumped on the bus, 16. Both, I think we were smoking at the time, so we went upstairs, and this guy come up with us, beautiful brown trousers, cravat, and what looked like a royal, what do they call it? A Royal Navy Association blazer, immaculate, sat in front of us, and the bus went 4 yards, stopped at the bus stop, and Tony threw his ass all over him. I jumped up thinking I'm going to take the first smack, followed by him, and the fellow was dead good about it, just cried and went off the bus. And we then just went on to town as he wiped the sick away. That was after a pint and a half of the finest miles.
some of the things.
That was...
that leads on to the next one. Was there a group of you? Were you
Yeah.
like a drinking gang or something?
There used to be myself, Tony, Richie Newcomb, John Scully, we probably had 1 or 2 others
Tony.
in time to time.
Yeah.
Oh, Tony's ever only, was it?
Yeah.
And from time to time there'd be a bunch of us, at times up to about 6, and we probably went out with a sum total of 50 pence or 10 bob at a time. We'd go out nice and early, lovely summer's days, 7 o'clock, and be on our way home at 9:30 skins. Ran out of money after 3 pints. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Talk about away days watching Everton in the 60s.
Well, they were good when Everton, on the away days, Everton had a half decent team in the 60s when we used to follow them and go to all the away games. Tony, John Scully, myself, Richie Newcomb, who was still a fanatical Evertonian. And we go to places here, there and far, and most of the times it was from home James and Scotland Road, the coach, because the amount of Skellies that were there at the time was unbelievable. And on the away trips, you always used to come back with treasure. Well, probably a police escort out of the likes of Stoke City's grounds and a few other places. Yeah, so we used to bring some treasure on with us. I remember one particular one. I'd been working nights, I'd moved on, and we'd gone to a cup game, and we got back about 7 or 8 o'clock at night. We were all buzzing. Everton had won, gone into town, and left me fell asleep in the corner. I remember the pub, the Lighthouse. They just said you were so peaceful at the time, and we knew you hadn't had no sleep. You'd gone straight from the night shift straight onto the bus. They just left me. A fellow woke me up at 11:15 to go home, so they'd already gone into town by the time. So it was just mad. It was just, oh, leave me, he's alright.
What do you remember about the first time you met Rita?
Is this when we can do Exeter?
Yeah.
Exeter.
Yeah.
Right.
This is chopping it, right? It's just
I think the first time we met Rita,
Was that a wedding?
that was the official, I think it was John Campbell's and Sandra's wedding. And there was Tony,
Yeah.
Tony had already advised me that John had asked him to be his best man. So prior to that we met John and we'd had a few drinks and God knows what. And it come to pass that Sandra's bridesmaid or head bridesmaid was a bit of a stunner, and she lived on her own, to which all the lads were, there you go, and arising from that, everyone had the knitting out.
Oh yeah, we all had to go to see what.
So it was one of those. It was when we met. She was a character and a half, to say the least.
Yeah.
Great sense of humour.
And nothing changed.
He just fell head over heels for her.